And this is my friend Fred Acre, longtime resident, lifelong resident of Otter Lake, right, Fred? And he knows more about Otter Lake history than anybody else I know. Look at him shake his head. It's always been an Adventist church, and ever since it started then.
Since about 1926.
Right.
The old school stood here.
Oh, this was an elementary school, or?
Yeah, well, it was a country school.
Oh, like a one-room type school, or multi-room,
multi-grades.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it went up to the 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
And this was called, I think they called it Marathon number 5. That's what they called it.
All right.
It's set back a little farther than what the church building is.
Oh, okay. So it's not on the same foundation or anything then. It's just the same general location.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this little, I've always wondered about this little block building here, a fascinating building. I wonder what kind of building that would be. And I think Mr. Acre is going to tell us.
This was Dr. Marsh's office at one time. There used to be a window out the front. Now that's all closed off.
Okay.
And there was a door that went out the front too, and the sidewalk going down to the other sidewalk.
All right.
But back in the back, you can see the tar marks on the back wall where there was an old building attached.
Oh, yeah, you can still see that, yep.
And Mary Munger, who was Elder Munger's mother, she lived here. And I used to mow her lawn.
Walk all the way around here, just see all 4 sides of this interesting old doctor's office here, which was let out to the local police department for a short time as a police station, right?
Right. And I need to fix up the windows.
Oh, I see. There's boards across the front now. Yep.
Yeah. There was a, see right here where the steps were.
Oh, there. Yep. You can still see the. Funny how things are gone for years. You can still find some sort of remnants of them. You told me a story earlier about your brother having to spend some time here.
Yeah. There was a big square window right here in the front, and he had to spend 3 weeks quarantined in a doctor's office with scarlet fever.
Scarlet fever.
Yeah. So that was what they did back then. They quarantined him right at the doctor's office.
How about that?
This was the old Methodist Church. They turned it into a residence.
Okay. But really, there's only, what, like 5 families in here in Otter Lake, and you're all related, right?
There's a lot of relations. Yeah.
All right, I'm guessing this used to be a gas station, possibly a market gas station too, or something?
There was a little store there too.
All right,
that was...
let these cars go by.
Heading.
You get a better view. Do you remember what kind of gas station it was? Was it a name brand station?
Standard.
Standard station?
Standard station.
Excellent, excellent.
And it was Carl and Lorraine Hedden run it.
And we're cruising along here by what says 10th Street.
Yep. My grandpa Jasper Johnson used to live there. He was a barber for 54 years in Fostoria, and then he moved and set up another building right here in the front.
Oh, there used to be a barber shop right here?
There used to be a barber shop right here.
Oh, that's fascinating. I didn't know that.
And he ran that barber shop for years. This is the original fire hall.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. Was this always a bar over here on this side?
Yep. That was always the Otter Lake Bar.
Otter Lake Bar's always been there. But I'm really fascinated by the fire hall here and the little monument to the war veterans.
Yeah. See, it's Otter Lake Historical Museum now.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to come by here when it's open sometime.
Yeah.
Is there a date on there? Yep, 1908. Fire hall,
Yep.
1908.
This is for the veterans.
The veterans.
They used to have a big white honor roll here.
I remember that.
With all the names on it.
Yes, I remember that.
This is one of the logs that they hauled up out of the bottom of the lake from the old. There was 2 lumber camps here. One was located over here, and the other was located over there near Dr. Marsh's.
That was on the bottom of the lake?
This was on the bottom of the lake. It sat there for, what, probably 100 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And They told me that just the outside was bad when they took them, just the outside part, a couple of inches or something.
Mm-hmm.
All the rest was good wood inside.
Huh.
And there was basswood, red oak, beech. They brought about a 25-foot boat up from Lake St. Clair and sunk it out here in about 30 feet of water. And the divers from several counties come here to practice summer and winter because it's a clear lake. They don't have very many lakes around that are clear. They're all cloudy and stuff. They can't do that. So then there's a boat launch right off the boat launch out there, and about 30 feet of water is that boat.
Now, one of the maps I was looking at shows one of the railroads having a spur line that came out alongside the lake. Was that for the ice farm that they cut the ice from, or was that for something else?
Well, right here stood the two pickle factory buildings.
Oh, this is where the pickle plant was, huh?
Yeah, and they had a spur run up between the two buildings.
Okay.
Another spur run to the elevator that used to stand right on the other side of that lot.
All right. Ice harvesting was a big business here on the lake at one time, right?
Yes. This is
part of the park?
That's part of the park.
Okay.
It's used for people who want to set up tents or rough camping, you know.
Oh, you can actually pitch a tent and camp here?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Got some cement work here, a retaining wall and some footings here that would have been part of the
old ice house.
Support work for the ice house.
Maybe they had on the other side of that pontoon boat, there was two things sticking up out of the water.
Okay.
Where the endless chain went down into the water and hauled up blocks of ice. The sanitarium stood in that dark part of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
The sanitarium's right up in there.
Okay.
And the road that run right along the edge of the lake all the way up to the sanitarium, at one time Dave Powers said he helped build that road. Big old white plow horse, he called it.
Oh my. Already. 3-story building used to be right here?
A 3-story building, and had an attached bowling alley on it, run by Andy and Esther Slezak.
Okay.
And
what was this on the corner here?
They used it as a Nazarene church one time, and they've used it as the I can't think now. Right here, right in here.
All right. Got a little alleyway here.
Yeah. Right here stood a 2.5-story garage, and Doc Hemingway, which is Lloyd Hemingway Sr., used to run it. The old post office was a lean-to building attached to the west side of it.
Oh, okay. Right there, huh?
And we moved there in '45 in that brown stucco house. And Mother had to walk 2.5 steps to work out the back door of the house to the back door of the post office. 2.5 steps.
Fred's mother was a postmaster here, postmistress here for quite a few years.
33 years. And then this is the old bank building. I remember attending school there when they still had the old vault in there, but they wouldn't let us go in the vault. Now,
was your mother at that post office the whole time, or was there a newer building after that?
The new building was built here. Oops. See the new building?
Oh, okay. She actually worked in that one there. When we say new, we're probably looking at like the late 50s, early 60s.
When was this built? That's where she finished up her years of service.
And here's the The new fire hall with the fire truck that's for sale.
Yeah.
My son's actually a volunteer fireman there.
And that at one time was a gas station, golf gas station.
Where at? Right where the bank was?
No, where the fire hall is.
Oh, where the fire hall is. Okay.
That was run by Andy Torr. They had an old building here that was a gas station and store, just a little small building. Right where that truck's parked, they had the old fuel storage tanks, 2 big tanks mounted on cement, and they parked the truck up underneath them. And my Ralph Merle Acre run the route, and my brother Keith helped him driving the fuel truck quite often. Here's where the old supply house stood. The old depot. See, supply house and that end, depot. I think the depot was on this end. Supply house on that side.
Okay. Okay.
And I think it was a glazed block at one time too. But the train would come down through here, and they'd have just a hook out there. They'd have a hook, and they'd hang the bag of mail on that hook, and the train would come along and hook it and drop off another bag.
I've seen that in movies before. I've never heard of a place that actually had it in real life, or someone had actually seen it happen. You've actually seen how they did it, huh?
And let me see.
Hey, let me pull into this parking lot up here. We can talk a little bit about the railroad line. This one right here. We'll talk about this one first. How do we get in here?
It says one way.
Oh, that's weird. You gotta go around somewhere to get in?
Sneak in and not tell nobody.
All right. Well, if anybody says anything, I'll say Fred said it was okay. All right, we'll just loop in here. There's a rails to trail pathway here now, and you can see it.
It goes from here to Millington.
And that was the old Michigan Central Railroad, if I'm not mistaken.
New York.
New York Central.
New York Central, yeah.
And that started down Detroit, came up through Rochester, and then cut across to Lake Orion, following M24 up through Oxford, Metamora, then through Lapeer, where it curved to the northwest and headed to Columbiaville, and then through here on its way to Bay City, if I'm not mistaken.
Millington,
okay. That's cool. And there was a second railway line here in town, part of the Pere Marquette system, which ran over to Fostoria.
Yeah, that was the old Huckleberry.
Right, and that came through right in here, didn't it? You can see the railroad grade where it crosses here.
And
there were spur lines.
Here. One spur line went straight to the pickle factory, the other one curved and went into the elevator between the 2 elevator buildings.
And there was actually a manual switching station here. Where someone would have to get out and move switches around to move the trains and direct them onto the different sidings here. Right now we're just about a half a mile away from the railroad lines where they came through at the corner of Hart Lake and Hemingway Lake. And there's a whole section of property here. Not a section, I think it was a
159 acres.
159 acres, like a quarter section, right? That used to be the farm of someone related to a very famous actor. I find this fascinating because I said it's just kind of fun to think that maybe when Tom Selleck was a little boy, he might have hopped on a railroad car in his home in Detroit and taken the train all the way out here to Otter Lake to visit his grandparents. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's certainly plausible because back then a lot of people would have traveled by train. Shingle Tavern Hill on the corner of Hart Lake Road, North Lake and Otter Lake Road. And there used to be an actual tavern here, probably up on the hill there, right?
Up on the hill on the right hand side.